going on, good people? Come on into the room, be coachable, teachable, trainable, and go ahead and cast that information, letting me know where exactly it is that you are chiming in from. So I see my bubble movement, so therefore I know I can be heard. Hopefully you guys can hear me out there in this great old world wide web of ours. Let me take this bracelet off so it's not chinking and a clinkling while I'm going on. So today I'm on the laptop, so go ahead and expect some technical difficulties on today. I promise you I have run my laptop racket, as well as expect a cameo any moment now. I think I'm going to run into that situation of people walking through my background on today. So it's all good. Y'all get to get the transparent. What did I say when we did all of this, when we started all of this? You guys are going to get the real and the raw. So thank you so much for being coachable, teachable, trainable, and posting your city and state where you are chiming in from, allowing me to see where my reach is extending to. So consistently, I see that we are streaming to Brooklyn, New York. I see we are streaming to Toccoa, Georgia. We are streaming to Texas. We are also streaming to Reston, Virginia. Today we are reaching Orlando, Florida. Thank you so much, Carla, for hopping on, being coachable, teachable, trainable, and posting your city and state where you are chiming in from. I greatly appreciate it. So on today, your brand master is going to cover, and like I said, we're multitasking, so work with a sister here. On today is day 4, and today we're going to be discussing what is a good lead, okay? So go ahead and grab your sheet of paper. As you guys know, if you are already inside of the membership, you will get a downloadable as well as a fillable after we conclude everything, and then you will be able to do your homework or course assignment, okay? So let me jump right over into this. Hey, y'all. Hey, my name is Brandmaster Martina Britt Yoverton, and I am your cash flow queen, the founder of the Hire Your Kids, the #1 legal tax hack to hire your kids in your home-based business. I affectionately titled the movement Youth Lifestyle Training. I typically stream every single day here doing this challenge, and it's anytime I feel like it or I can find time right now. Why? Because things are crazy. I have a lot going on with my company. I have a lot going on with these teenagers who are getting ready to get out of school. I have a lot going on in 3 to 4 different multiple businesses. I have a lot going on, but I am committed. I am 100% committed to help and serve each and every single struggling entrepreneur, as well as each and every single savvy senior that I know that is ready to take their brand and their passion to the next level. So trust and believe, I am on here and I am here to serve, okay? So my daily goal is to brand you, educate you, and to help you get your assets in order so that you can leave a legacy, or better yet, so that you can live one, okay? So today we're going to discuss what is a good lead. If you have no earthly idea where this is coming from, then that means you haven't had an opportunity to go over to Dollar Deals. Let's see if I can get that to come up on the screen. Go over to dollardeals.martinabrittyoverton.com and understand that this is a 90% off limited time offer that I'm giving you guys so that you can get access. If you want to know what is included in the membership, click the play button. It will tell you everything that is included in the membership. If you don't want to click the play button, because you know sometimes you're at work and you don't want that information to pop up, guess what? You can scroll down, and right below the video, it tells you everything that is included. And it also tells you why I'm doing this for only $31 and why I'm doing it as a whole. Guys, I spent my initial 3 years as a startup trying to figure out what in the world I was available to do after surviving domestic violence. The devil got busy in a previous marriage and things just went haywire. And at that particular time, I had 2 teenagers and I had 2 babies under 2, right? And I was like, what in the world am I going to do? So trust me when I say, I understand marriage and miscarriage. I understand divorce and eviction. I understand birth and death of a parent, death of a business. I understand the welfare system, how to get out of the welfare system, how to end up back in the welfare system. I understand it all. So when I say I'm here to serve and to help, I'm here to serve and to help because I started up and I was struggling just like many of you. And then I operated the business janky for at least 10 years, not fully understanding how to get the business structure correct, how to set up business credit, how to get all of that up and popping and on and popping, right? I understand exactly where you're going, what you're going through. And so with all of that in mind, I wanted to bridge the gap. And once I figured out how to do this with the foundation, how to do this in an established manner so that people that were surrounding me would thrive. Thank you so much for chiming in from Lynchburg, VA. So we in VA again today. That is awesome. I wanted to figure out how I could help you guys. And so in this course, we're coming through days 1 through 10. We're going to discover the topics that are listed here. And today is day 4, what is a good lead? So for now, grab your piece of paper. And if you're not a multitasker, it's okay, Because not being a multitasker, you get to listen to all of the good information. You get to engage in the chat here live. Definitely put #live if you're catching it live. You get to engage in the chat. You get to get all the good information. And because you are in the membership, because you've gone ahead and gotten the Dollar Deals membership, you're available to go back and rewatch this information with your downloadable or your fillable form, and you're available to go through each and every exercise, okay? However, for you guys who have not chimed in, who have not dialed in, and who have not gotten their Dollar Deals membership, you guys are only going to be able to watch the video and that's it. Sorry, but not sorry, because note takers, number one, are money makers. One of my mentors, Mr. Keith Tucker, told me that. And beyond that, those who invest in themselves and implement and apply the knowledge that they receive will level up, okay? So that is my goal, to give you this information so that you can then level up, all right? So today on Day 4, we're going to discuss what is a good lead. One of the ways that you can determine this, and I know you've all asked this question before, how much time should I spend with the person who's asking me questions? So when you're looking at that prospective person that is asking your questions, you're kind of wondering, how much time should I spend with them? Well, the way to get clarity and to get that answer that you need, because we understand our time is our money, here are some questions that you can ask during the process of what you're going through to be able to determine whether or not that person is a good lead. So the number one question that you should already have answered is, do I have a clear understanding of what my own intellectual property, intellectual passion, intellectual value is, right? Do you already have in mind a service that you offer? Do you already understand your own value to determine whether or not you're going to continue to stand and answer those questions and give that value away for free? And if you do have that already established, what is the price point that you have put on that, right? Because if you understand what it is that you're trying to discuss, and you understand how much time is attached to that price point or that value that you're giving that individual, then you will know exactly how much time you're going to stand there with that individual. So when you're looking at that, you're trying to figure out this individual that's standing before you. You're probably going, is this an individual that I can serve? Is this an individual that I can help? Do you have, or have you already determined who your archetype or your avatar is? And if you have, who is that? You're going to go ahead and jot that down. And again, if you don't know those things, this is a point of contention and a point at which you do need to join us on day number, let's go and see, on day number 7, when we discuss the avatar or the archetype, okay? To give you guys an understanding of that, all right? So when you're thinking about all of that, the next thing that you're going to be writing down is, do you already know what the minimum and the maximum package that I offer, that my service, my program, what it is, do I already know what that is? Do I know what the minimum amount is and what the maximum amount is? Because again, that's going to help you determine how much time you're going to spend with this person and if this person is a good lead for you. All right. Beyond that, let's get into some very personal questions about your product or service. What 3 questions do you ask to determine their budget? So if you have no earthly idea, you want to be asking questions like, how long have you been struggling with the problem? Whatever the problem is. When you're asking how long they've been struggling with it, if they've been struggling with it quite a bit of time, more than likely it's not something that is a serious pain point that they're willing to invest any money in solving. That's not a person who is a good lead for you. That's not a person who has a pain point strong enough for them to actually invest in you. That's not a good lead for you, because they're not taking seriously the fact that they really need a solution. They're not ready to get beyond that pain point, right? That is a waste of your time if you are attaching your time to that conversation that you're having. All right, so let's go a step beyond that. You want to ask your question again, what is the pain point? How long have they, been going through that situation? You want to ask, what exactly have they already done or invested in to get out of that situation or to get through that particular pain point, right? You also want to ask some more questions about their money situation. When you know an individual who's young, who is working a less than satisfactory job for their gifts or talents, they're being paid a minimum wage, and they also have kids, especially kids who are younger than school care, then they probably have daycare. Not that you're counting their coins, but what you're doing is trying to determine whether or not that person has any wiggle in their budget to invest in what it is that you have to offer them. Okay, so you're asking those kind of questions, not necessarily to count their coins, but to kind of wrap your mind around whether or not you are available to freely invest in them, meaning to serve them, or you are available to really invest in them by helping them figure out how to get the coins that they need to actually pay for whatever your product or service is. All right, so you're going to develop 3 questions that you have in a general conversation to determine whether or not the person meets your need in order for you to continue to spend time serving them. Okay, beyond that, what 3 questions do you ask to determine if they really need it? Right? So they could be an individual and they're saying, man, I really need a brand. I'll use my situation as an example. I really need a brand. However, they're not a part of a company. They are a regular employee working a W-2. They're not interested in doing anything outside of that W-2. They actually don't have any kids and are not interested in doing anything outside of their W-2. Why exactly would they need a brand if they are satisfactory and they're comfortable on their W-2, right? So you have to ask questions to determine whether or not they actually even need whatever your product or service is. Find 3 questions to wrap your mind around that so that you can determine whether or not this is an individual I even want to continue answering the questions. Why would a person be at a networking event and they're not interested in starting a business? They're not interested in develop any type of stronger network. They're not interested in starting or getting involved in a company. They're not interested in any type of collaborative situations that would allow both them and you to make money. Why would they be interested in whatever your product or service is? And in this case, it's a brand, right? That's not a good lead. And then finally, you want to ask, what 3 questions should you ask to determine how soon they need it? Well, first, if they don't need it, next, right? If they've been dealing with the problem long enough and they're not interested in quickly solving it, next, right? You can ask questions to determine, like we said, how long they've been dealing with the situation, what other alternatives or things that they have tried, who have they invested in, what conferences have they attended, what have they bought to try to solve whatever the problem is, to determine how urgent the matter is. And then you want to make sure that you're speaking with the decision maker, the person who can determine whether or not the funds are going to be spent, right? And the reason I say that is because nothing can frustrate an individual more than talking with someone, hearing their pain, understanding that you have something that can solve their pain. You take them through the process of eliminating that they're not a tire kicker. They're actually serious. They're brand new to the pain point. They're ready to get it solved right now, right away. You know that they have the money and they've invested in other things that they did not deem as working out for them. You've gone through all of that. And then you get them to the point where you're like, I can help you. Here's what the next step would be. And they conclude that entire situation by going, well, now I need to take this home and discuss this. So if you didn't go ahead and pre-qualify them, understanding that there is a secondary individual that needs to be involved in your high level, high price package, then it's a good lead, but you've wasted a bit of time when you could have said it'll probably be better if I can discuss this with both of you together, so both of you can make an informed decision, and then we can move forward with quickly getting the solution to your problem. Nothing can be more frustrating than going through all of that and realize you're only speaking with half of the decision-making process. So you want to be sure to ask that question before you spend too much time trying to determine if this is a good lead or not. And there's a way to easily say, I'm so glad that we've been able to delve through so much of what you're trying to accomplish. Now it's important that we go ahead and get on the phone, or we get on a three-way, or we get on a Zoom, or we meet up tomorrow, later today, whatever it is, because you want that hot individual who's ready to solve that problem to get with the other half of the decision-making process and get the problem solved. It's not a problem to say there's nothing more that we can do at this time because we need both of you on board. And then moving on to the next good prospect lead that you're looking for, okay? So one of the things I like to get people to understand is if you have gone through all of this, and let's jump all the way back to the beginning, and you have not priced your value, you don't understand or know your own intellectual property, your own intellectual passion, your own intellectual purpose. If you don't know that yet, then let's start there, okay? Because in some of the other days, as you see here on the screen, we talked about the mission, the vision, your core values, and your goals. That's crucially important because knowing all of that will help you determine whether or not you're standing before a good lead. Why do I say that? So let me see if I can pull up one of mine here to help you guys really quickly understand this. This will make a whole lot of sense to you. So let's see here. When we did that on day 2, I believe it was. Yeah, on day 2. I'm going to pull this up so you can put 2 and 2 together and you can make this make really, really good sense. All right, here we go. All right, so here on day 2, I gave you guys a transparent look right here at my mission, my vision, my core values, my goals. All right. So let's just look at the first one, the goal per se. So as I said, my daily goal is to brand you, educate you, and to help you get your assets in order so that you can leave a legacy, or better yet, so that you can live one. So if I'm talking to an individual, preferably a younger individual, even younger than a millennial, and they don't understand the term leave or live a legacy, then I already know this is not my niche person. This is not the person that I'm actually trying to brand with the hopes of helping them get some type of automated system, authentic system in order so that they can actually create something to help that person leave and live a legacy, right? Legacy information does not always land with a millennial. I hope that makes sense. No different than using high-tech words such as automation with a senior who's not savvy. So when I say a savvy senior, I want to know that you can operate your mobile device. I want to know that you know what Wi-Fi is, that you know what the internet is, that you have access to it, that you may already have a social media page, 1, maybe 2, that you are available to text on that phone. You know how to turn on the camera on that phone. That's a savvy senior. So if I'm talking to a senior and they're not really connected with technology, that's not my niche client. That's not a good lead for me. And how do I know that? Because I've already predetermined in my mind what needs to be in place for me to work with a savvy senior. And that is mobile ready, understand technology is a challenge, having a few issues here or there, ready to take on new heights, interested in leaving a legacy for their kids or grandkids. That would be a niche market that I know I can continue the conversation. Why? Because I've already set forth what my goal is, who my niche client is, what my vision is, some of my core values, right? You're able to quickly look at that and determine this is an individual I need to keep talking with or not. That's how you determine who is a good lead, by laying the foundational work of who you are, your mission, your goal, your visions, the plans that you have in place. So when an individual comes to you, you can either quickly say yes or no, or you can say, I need more information, right? These are ways that you determine what is a good lead. Let me help you guys additionally with one final thing here before we close. Here at the very bottom, I've given you access to a link. And this link is called whyyourabroke.martinabrickgelverton.com. Thank you so very much. And her name just escapes me. I went to an online seminar. I took this course and I went through the process of listening to all of her information. And it helped me determine a price point for my value. It is going to be mind-blowing because most people, when you say, hey, how much do you want to make in a year? They generally say, oh, $100,000. Well, I'll be very honest with you. $100,000 in a year really is no money. Let me tell you why. Because if you are a person who operates in tithing, if you are a person who operates in saving, if you are a person who operates in giving, if you are a person who has a household with expenses and kids, $100,000 literally is nothing. And why do we say that? We say that because what generally happens is if you are breaking that $100,000 up correctly as you should, what generally happens is it's actually only 33, right? Because if you're doing the correct tithing amount, if you're doing the correct saving amount, if you're doing the correct expenses amount for your household, you have to break all of that off of the $100,000. So profit-wise, you're actually not bringing home a full $100,000. Okay, so that's why you can't throw out a haphazard amount and understand, yes, 100%, $100,000. That's my goal, right? That's why. So when you go and watch this video, it's going to have you break down whatever your personal value is, whatever that goal that you're trying to reach is. It's going to have you break that number down so that you can then re-add it and accurately account for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. All right. Very important to go ahead and put a price point on your value. And if you have not done that, this particular video will help you do that. So those of you who are in the dollar deals, you'll see this link show up as soon as we conclude the video. You will also see the worksheet that is provided. You'll get access to the worksheet that is provided, and you will be able to save a copy of that to your spreadsheet. And I suggest you use Google Spreadsheets. Why? Because it's free. Why pay for Microsoft if you don't have to? Go ahead and use the Google Spreadsheets, and you will be able to go through the calculation process that is discussed in this video to put a price point on your value. Okay, it's very important that you do that because as you see, when determining a good lead, the very first thing we discuss is, do you know how much your time is? Do you understand already your own value? That will determine how long you're going to spend with and on an individual trying to determine if you have the solution to meet their need. You already need to know how much you're worth. You already need to know what your core mission, vision, values, goals, and everything are. You need to know what your price point is for what it is that you have to sell or give away or your company offers. You need to know all of that beforehand because that is going to tell you how much time you're spending with an individual once you start asking the questions, hearing the answers, and allowing them to ask questions as well. Okay, so I hope all of that makes sense for you on today. I hope you have found some level of value in the information we've covered today. Again, I'll show you the step-by-step process of how we take this form that we have here. And before I do that, I'm going to go down to this area here, and we are going to make this area a link that we are available to click, and you guys will see how this shows up in the PDF. So then we are going to file, and we are going to download it as a PDF. This will allow us to place it in the correct folder. And placing it in the correct folder for this month of May that we're doing this challenge. I wonder where my other two went to. That's kind of weird. All right. And then we are going to open up the PDF software, as you guys have seen us close out. So if you had no earthly idea how to create a PDF and how to make it fillable, you are learning that on today, again, in all transparency. We're going to go and open up that PDF that we just created. And let's get to the right folder. In May. And day 4, we're going to open that up. And then once you have the PDF open, we're going to go and prepare that PDF. And it will automatically place spaces that we would fill in. And as you see, it's going to keep the link automated down here. So we will close that and we will save it. So now that we have it saved, we're going to title it in the same folder and we are going to make it fillable. So once we have it saved there, we can close all of that out. And then we are available to go over to our membership portal, showing you guys all the good today. All right, we can go over to the product for the membership portal. And we are almost there. And I'll pull that onto the screen in just a hot moment. Want to make sure nobody else's private information shows on the screen. And we will go here into day 4, make it editable. And down here to the bottom right, we're going to choose the files that we just created in that folder. And this is what gives you access to the PDF so that you can print them or you can complete them. And I'm going to change the name on that one because we did not make it say printable as we did the other one. So let's go ahead and change that here before we upload it, because this is the printable. And then we're going to upload day 4, printable and fillable. And so when you get in your Dollar Deals membership and you open your portal up, you will see your files over here. Now, additionally, before I conclude and make this go, I'll go ahead and publish it so you guys can see the ability that is saved here. This is where the video will go when I conclude the video. And I will go in here and edit the information. So the link will be available here, as well as adding the access to the spreadsheet that I'm giving you guys an access to, so that when you do go to this video here and you watch that video, you will be able to open up on your screen as well the spreadsheet that goes along with it, so that you can key in your numbers. You can key in your mission and your vision and your goals for what you want to make financially, and understand how to properly price your value. So again, I hope that has been helpful for you guys, and you understand what it is that we're trying to do here on day 4. And on tomorrow, day 5, social media persona. We're going to pull up a couple of social media websites of mine so I can show you what we're trying to do with not only creating content, but also so that we can show you how you're going to implement your mission, your vision, your goals, and your core values into the bio that you created. So you've already created your power bio by now. I've given you guys about 4 days. And if not, then at least you'll be able to get the video and see how to do it, so that you can then go into your own social media and make those adjustments, because we want that brand to be consistent across all of the platforms that you are visible on, even if you're not active on them. Remember, we're trying to control the narrative for our brand. So that is how we'll get into that on tomorrow, day 5. Probably tomorrow is Thursday. This time may work well, probably around 7:15, so I can ensure that we conclude before our Thursday night call that starts at 8:30. So if you have no earthly idea what I'm talking about, we have a Financial Edge University call that meets each and every Thursday at 8:30. If you want to know what that is about, you can definitely drop those questions in the DM and I'll be sure to respond to you guys. But check my social media posts. More than likely, I'll have a post up letting you guys know where and when to find that information. But again, I want you to have access to everything that I have, so that you will be able to make an informed decision about what you're trying to do with your brand. I'll catch you guys on tomorrow.